Welcome to Love's Buzz Podcast, episode 21. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We have a very special podcast tonight. I have actually brought in my very, very best friend that you will know from TC Time. That being Trish. We have a very special topic that we want to talk about tonight. So I had to bring her along because we've both been kind of watching this story. And I figured we both really needed to talk about it. Hi, Trish.
Woo! Hey, Cind'y!
This is kind of cool that we're going to be able to do this now. I'm really excited. Trish, you're going to know also as Ice Pets Queen from her channels, Ice Pets Queen, Ice Pets Redneck, Ice Pets 1,000 Channels Later. But I had to bring her in, guys, because check it out. We have some information that we're going to get to in just a moment. So get ready for that. We're going to be covering a couple of stories tonight. So get ready for that one because it's going to be a good one, guys. I mean, these are a couple of really hot topics that we're going to be representing on a couple of channels. We'll let you know about that a little bit later. But for right now, oh my God. I seriously cannot believe this. And both Trish and I have kind of been watching this story, but this has snowballed into a story of 1,000 different kinds that just, it's one of those things that makes you go, huh? You know that song? Things that make you go, Yeah. Jussie Smollett, guys. Okay. So in the last 24 hours, we've learned what? Police pick up 2 men in connection with Jussie Smollett's attack, Chicago PD. They pick up these 2 guys. They question these 2 guys. They say, okay, we've caught them. We're questioning them. We're talking to them. Today, they release them.
Yep.
What? Now, it gets better. It gets better.
Or worse, depending on how you look at it.
Right. They release the guys, and then they make another statement a little while later and say, well, ladies and gentlemen, we released these men. No charges filed, nothing. We now have evidence to prove that Jussie Smollett orchestrated this whole thing due to the fact he thought his television show Empire was going to release him from his contract. What?
Got to be the dumbest thing.
These were 2 brothers. 2 brothers.
Okay. It's just not a smart move. Okay, because if this turns out to be true, because the article I was reading on the update that came out about 2, maybe 3 hours ago said those 2 guys had told them that, and they agreed to cooperate with the police because the police threatened to put charges on them. And the only way they would let them go is if they agreed to cooperate with them. So they agreed, obviously.
Yep.
But, oh my God. So they've not talked to Jussie yet and verified whether this is true or false. But my God, if it turns out to be true, what a dumbass. What this show is going to possibly release him from his contract. So what does he do? He has 2 people beat the ever-loving shit out of him and mess up the money maker. Okay. Oh my God, that's the dumbest thing he could have done.
Yeah. Yeah. And on top of that, Empire released a statement saying they had no intentions of letting him go. Of
course, they might consider it now.
That's what I was going to say. It's about to happen now, brother. Oh, are you serious? And I'm sorry, please, nobody get offended for me just saying that just now, okay, brother? Kind of deal, please. Okay.
She didn't mean it that way, guys.
I didn't mean it that way, guys, because right about now, everybody and anybody's going to be offended. So it's like, I'm sorry. But honestly, people, come on now. This guy orchestrated it because he thought he'd lose his job. You can be sure you will now, because I'm pretty sure that this whole show is going to be tanked over this.
No, I think the show could probably do without him. And the show wasn't actually involved in doing anything. I mean, they weren't even going to let him go. Not at that moment, anyway. His move was just completely stupid on his own part. Because if they had no intention of letting him go, then he may have just cost himself a job.
He did. He did. He did.
This company,
but everybody's going to be so upset with him. I know some of the cast members that were like absolutely devastated. There was interviews with them. And this, to me, I mean, that tanks the show. Like, nobody's going to believe in them anymore. So the network might just want to dump it so that they can forget this whole scandal and kind of, I mean, we can look at it one way, but the network might just want to distance themselves from all this and say, okay, let's just get rid of the show. Let's forget that they even...
I don't think they would go that far. I mean, it was just one actor that did something really stupid. I think the best move they could make to distance themselves from the situation would just simply be distance themselves from him, not the actual show, because the show had nothing to do with it. And if they get rid of the bad apple, so to speak, then that will, reflect good on them. Yeah. And plus all those other actors and stuff, I'm sure they could probably carry the show without him. I mean, I'm not a fan of the show. I've never watched it, but I don't know what kind of a character he played. Was he a lead actor? Was he a key role?
I only ever watched a couple of episodes, but I don't think he was a key member. But there's something else we need to get to upon all that in just a little bit. But I don't think he was a key member. It might, but it's going to depend on whether the network feels they can distance themselves enough. Because we've seen how a network feels when it comes to drama and that kind of thing. I mean, look what they did with Roseanne. I mean, a network sometimes will be really quick to say, okay, that's it. That's got to go. We don't know. Yeah. Anyways, it'll be interesting to see, though. I agree on that point. It is going to be a story that is like...
Oh, yeah. Because like you said, like the thing that you said with Roseanne, I mean, they fired her and the rest of the cast still ended up being okay and actually created their own show. I mean, so it can be done. I mean, even in big time movies, producers and directors have been fired for accusations made against them that weren't even proven yet. They were just accusations or mistakes they made.
Really big kudos on that one, because it's true. Everybody had it pinned against the rest of the cast from Roseanne, which we now call the Connors, but everybody had pinned them as failing from the get-go. Nobody will ever watch that show. It'll tank in its first year. It's no damn good. Nah. How dare they?
Oh, yeah.
They're still here. So, yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah. And for those of you out there listening, it's this whole story. You got to follow it. If you guys are pinned to either ET Canada or ET Online, they have been going off all day. This has been their big story. It hasn't stopped. It's been development after development. It's been crazy. So, yeah, it's...
Okay, yeah, but if I could play kind of devil's advocate here for a second, we don't know that the guy actually did this. We don't know for a fact that he actually hired those guys. I mean, somebody in trouble with the law could say anything.
That's true, too.
The cops still haven't talked to Jesse to, deny or verify any of the information. So people may be coming down on him at this moment when he really didn't do anything wrong. I'm not saying he didn't do something wrong. I'm just saying we don't know. The cops haven't even found him to talk to him yet. But they did talk to his people and told them, listen, we need to talk to him. We need to verify some information. So at this moment, at the moment of us recording this anyway, the cops still have not talked to him yet. So we don't know anything for sure just yet.
Yeah. Well, the reason that it's making it suspect, and the cops did say that they are about to basically say yes to the effect, because they have been looking ever since that night happened. And they could never, ever, every other piece of video from everywhere is all there. But they cannot find that piece of video with the attack. Nowhere to be found. Hours and hours and hours, just nowhere. It's not there. All they have is the video of the two guys walking. What's that?
Was he not in the hospital? Did he not have like damage?
That's the point. Do you get where I'm going now? Do you see why?
Yeah, I know. But see, that's why I was asking, because you followed this more closely than me. And I thought, well, if there was any pictures or anything of him beat all to hell, she would probably know. That's why I'm asking.
There's been nothing. That's why it's so suspect. And what we didn't realize all this time is that they kind of figured that's why they were leaning on the hoax thing from the beginning, because they could never find, out of all the video, they could find the video of the two guys walking, everything. They could not find the video of the attack. There was no document of the actual attack. All of a sudden, he just comes up and says, hey, I was attacked.
Okay, wait, what? Did he not? Is there not hospital records or anything?
Yeah, but do you get it? They do it somewhere out of the view of the public eye. He pretends to get beat up and then goes to the hospital and says, I was beat up. Wah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It's scary, but it makes sense.
Yep. This is why I tend to believe the two guys now. Finally, they were pinned to the wall, and it was like, okay, this jig is up. We're caught. Like, we're screwed.
Oh, yeah. See, that's why you got to be careful who you hire to beat the crap out of you. Because, if they're not used to taking that heat, they're going to fold.
Yeah. So it was pretty, I'd say it was pretty pathetic, to say the least, because the more that the developments were coming out, I was like, oh, dude. And I felt so bad for him the whole time. I got to admit it, ladies and gentlemen, I was suckered in 100%. You got to remember.
I remember the night you told me that it happened. Now, you were tore up like a train wreck.
And the other piece of the puzzle that we're not talking about here right now. First of all, he's a black man. So he was preying on the feelings of colored people everywhere.
Because he wanted one of the things he said was racial slurs were used. That's one of the things he said. And homophobic slurs. Oh, damn, his ass is going to be in a sling. His ass is going to be in a sling if this comes out and it's true. Okay, because not only is he going to have the black community after his ass, he's going to have the homosexual community after his ass for blaming both communities for something that they had nothing to do with.
And he's a gay man who wants respect for being allowed to live the way he wants to live, but he wants to go and fake this kind of crap. Oh,
yeah, that don't work. No. I mean, that kind of pisses me off, just as somebody who dealt with homophobia when I was in high school.
Yep.
I was attacked. Okay. I was literally attacked.
Yeah, so was I.
Just because they thought I was gay. Okay. Nothing. There was nothing. There was no proof. There was no evidence. There was no nothing. Someone thought I was gay. And I got attacked for it.
Yep.
And so
here's the problem.
Homophobia? No, that pisses me off.
Yeah. So not only is he preying on people and he wants this and that and the other thing, but now he's also being a horribly bad example of the LGBTQ community. All of it. He is putting now a bad light on it and giving these, and I'm sorry, but these arseholes who, already think that they can judge and this and that, a reason to continue doing so, because people like him are just, it's like saying, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't normally say things like this, at least not out loud. But if this turns out to be a lie, then he needs his ass kicked. He really does. And I know that sounds mean, but I'm going to tell you something. There are too many people out there, be it black or gay or whatever, that actually do get attacked and brutally beaten, and some of them even killed simply because of the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or whatever. They're actually facing this.
Yep.
And now he's faking it? No. Absolutely not. If this turns out to be that he faked it, that it was all a hoax, somebody needs to kick his ass.
Yeah. Comments. Make sure to comment. Get in on this topic with us, okay?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Out there tuning in, listening in, do you think should there be formal charges against somebody for doing this kind of thing? Personally, yes. Hands up, waving, crazy, nutso. Yes, completely. Because you know what? He's putting his family in a bad way, letting his family believe that he was horribly hurt and possibly almost killed. What kind of person are you to do that? Number one. Yeah. His castmates, everybody who loves him. And what, he's supposed to just walk along now? It's like the boy that cried wolf.
Yeah.
In all honesty, what are we, 12 years old?
Yeah. And some people that actually face stuff like this for real are afraid to report it.
Because of that, yeah. Stuff like that. Exactly.
Okay. That just makes it worse on the people that do actually go through this.
Yes, it really does. It really does. It's horrible. It makes children afraid to come forward. In any kind of, it doesn't even have to be that kind of issue. They see stuff like this happen. It makes them afraid to come forward on any issue. It's a bad example towards children. They figure, oh, well, he lied and nothing happened. Yeah, you better make sure something happened. I hope some formal charges come against him.
Well,
because if they couldn't find a video, no, that's suspect to me.
Yeah, they could get him on a false report.
I hope so. Because
look at all the time and effort and energy that was wasted on this specific case, and a lot of it, or at least a tiny bit of it, because he was famous. Okay, that makes a difference.
Yep, it does.
Time and effort and resources and everything else that was wasted if he actually lied about this.
And of course, now it's also going to call into question anytime somebody comes forward with something and they are famous. Now people are going to always wonder, because of this case.
Yeah.
They're always going to go back and wonder, now, is this person lying too?
Yeah.
And then they'll look at cases like Cosby's and all these other big cases that are starting to go that way. Oh, well, they could be lying. So it's going to question everything that everybody knows. It's going to put all of that into question.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And I really hope that charges do come forth. And I want to hear from Jesse now. I want to hear from him publicly. Put your face on camera. You come and deny it. You try to come and deny it. Because I'll tell you something, nowadays they have incredible body language experts. Remember that one guy that they found that had put his wife and 2 kids in those barrels? If you guys haven't heard about this story, it was horrific. Horrific.
Oh, yeah.
We'll give you the quickest rundown. I mean, this podcast wasn't supposed to go this way, but we'll give you a quick rundown. There was a guy that had taken his family and killed them, his kids and his wife. And he literally had to break bones to get his family into these barrels. Dr. Phil did a really big special on this story, and it was really quite something. They finally figured it out because he was standing in front of his television, watching some footage of himself that his neighbor had. And he got all fidgety with his arms behind his head, the whole bit. And that's how they figured it out, because his body language just made no sense. And he talked about his kids in the past tense.
Oh, that'll get you every time.
I want to see Jesse on camera. I want to see his face on camera.
Yeah.
Do it. Because whether you know it or not, you're always going to have that little trip up. You know what? A lie always comes out. A lie is a lie is a lie, and it will always come out no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Never fails. So good luck, Jesse. I might be getting a little judgmental myself at the moment, but that story really ticked me off because for gay people and Black people, they didn't need this. This was just something that was so disgraceful. Really disgraceful. Now, the next story, and we spoke about this one privately, but it's time to let the viewers and listeners in on this one. But wow. So I was actually speaking with Trish at the time that this happened. We were speaking, and all of a sudden, and neither of us knew where it was coming from. I thought it was coming from my mom's TV. And we are beep. I'm like, okay. She's like, Cind'y, what is that? I'm like, well,
because of my hearing. I mean, my hearing is really good. So high-pitched noises, when that thing went off, it was so high-pitched, you couldn't see me, but I literally went, oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, Cind'y, what the hell is that?
Which, by the way, loves buzzers, if you guys have not figured out what my name is now, we are doing this via 2 different type of podcasts. So yeah, just we'll explain a little bit more towards the end, but hopefully you're enjoying this. So anyways, we hear this noise. And neither of us have any idea. And then later on, I grabbed my phone to look at it because at the time, my phone was in my room to boot. I don't know if we talked about that or if I made you realize that. But my phone was in my room. That's how loud it was. Because I have very bad hearing problems, actually, and I do wear hearing aids. And so my phone is always up at the very loudest. So when I grabbed my phone, I saw there was an Amber Alert. First one I had ever seen. I'm like, oh my, what the hell? So I read about it, and it's about an 11-year-old girl, and she's with her father, but they're looking because she wasn't brought home when she was supposed to. The description, all that. Then literally a half hour later, that sound goes off again. So anyways, finally, the Amber Alert is cut off. Okay. So it says the little girl's been located. Oh, cool. I'm all like, okay, that was uneventful. The next day, we have somebody come to visit my home, and I'm a caregiver for my mom, and a nurse that was coming in for my mom says to me, did you see the Amber Alert last evening? And I'm like, yeah. I said, it was freaky. It's the first one I've ever gotten. I said, yeah, they found her. She goes, yeah, they did. Oh no. She's there. Yeah, they found her dead. She was 11 years old. Okay, keep that in mind now. And yes, it's going to get worse. It's a little bit graphic, so be careful if you're extra squeamish or if you're extra sensitive. Be careful because the ending of the story is very, very sad. She was 11 years old.
Want to stop listening. If you're extremely sensitive to this stuff, you may want to stop listening now.
So she was sharing the same birthday as her mother. They both had the exact same birthday. Keep that in mind as well. And he had taken her out for a birthday dinner. Happy birthday, baby. She never made it home at the designated time she was supposed to be home. That Amber Alert is what I heard, was them trying to locate the father and her. The Amber Alert was cut off a half an hour later because they found him and they found the vehicle. But she was not with him. They then continued on and went to the home that his home, and they found her dead. He had killed her. He killed his own daughter, people. 11 years old on her birthday. Yeah, It's so gut-wrenching and sickening that seriously, you don't even have to see their picture. You don't even have to know them for it to just make you want to be sick, physically sick. It's that disturbing to think that a parent can take their own child's life. It's disgusting. And so this story hit both of us, and which is why I wanted us to do this together tonight, because I figured, we had two extremely hot topics. So we're really hoping you're going to weigh in on them. And I know, Trish, it really hit you being a mother and with your son. So, yeah, I mean.
I wouldn't even want to imagine. I mean, just the thought of losing my son tears me all to pieces. But that situation, he killed her on her birthday, and her mom's birthday is the same day. Her birthday is never going to be the same, because not only was that the day her daughter was born, which was a huge, special blessing of a gift, it's also the day she lost her daughter. And not because there was anything wrong with the kid, because her daddy chose to take that child's life. They should give him the death penalty.
Ooh. Oh.
I know that's a touchy subject, but come on, guys. He killed an 11-year-old baby.
Yeah.
His own flesh and blood.
Well, I think you're more than right, because let's look at it like this, okay? You say that. And that is such a good point, because let's put it this way. Obviously, this man is more than dangerous, because if he can kill his own kid, who else will he not be afraid to kill?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on. Let's get real here. If there's ever somebody that obviously is extremely dangerous, is a man that can kill his own flesh and blood. Come on. So, I mean, I agree. I don't know. I'm terrible when it comes to the law, but I don't know if we have the death penalty here, but.
Even if they don't give him the death penalty, he needs life in prison without a chance of parole ever.
Oh, definitely.
Something that, oh my God, for something like that, without question. He does not need to be a free man.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep. I actually, and this is going to maybe be something so touchy, I'm probably treading on very, very thin ice here going this far, but I had a friend when I was young, and she went through a whole pregnancy without showing, and I kid you not.
Oh my God.
She held that pregnancy without any of us knowing. And I was with her every day. We were going bike riding in the whole bit.
Oh my God.
She calls me up one day and she's like, I bet you I can shock you. And I'm there, what are you talking about? She goes, I had a baby. I'm there, you're full of it. She goes, come to me. Took a while, but about after a week, I kind of started to believe, well, I guess that kid really is hers because he hasn't gone anywhere. I'm not kidding. She was a native girl, but where I'm going with this is, she so fell in love with her son. I mean, seriously, she was the human version of a mama bear that I have never seen in my entire life. It was like, you better not even look at the kid the wrong way because you going to die.
Oh, yeah.
And she always believed that somebody that could hurt a child, they should, if they did, they should lose at least, and I'm trying to say this in such a diplomatic way not to get in trouble, that you should lose at least an equal piece of body part in redemption for it. If you know what I mean.
Okay, you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going.
Yeah, and she used to tell me that. Yeah, she used to tell me that. Like if you, if you hurt a child, then that you deserve to lose a part. And
actually, I like that. I like that equivalent right there. That's perfect. I love it. So yeah, I say cut off his penis.
The story was just incredible to me. I so in this case, I totally believe it. once I get any more news, guys, like if I find out what he gets or what happens to him, which I'm really hoping, because, I mean, news is very hard to find nowadays with everything being Trump TV. Sorry, I went there. Sorry.
It's okay.
I did it. I'm sorry, but everything nowadays is Trump TV, so it's very hard to get proper news.
Yeah. Aren't you so glad someone invented the internet?
Come to us. We'll keep you abreast. Now, for those of you that don't get it, this is how Trish and I interact together, because we like to take subjects that are heavy, but also take a minute and make them a little bit lighter, because it can be so full that a story like this will drain you. Because that was all I could think about that day. It was all I could think about. This poor little 11-year-old girl on her birthday, so happy to be with daddy and having a dinner. That was like as if he was leading her to her last meal.
Yeah. And, if you don't find a way to make yourself laugh, even in those situations, maybe not right in that moment, but at least a little later, it will drive you crazy. It will rip your heart out. You will lose your mind. You will. Okay. Yep. And humor is kind of my defense mechanism anyway, because as I think about the case, all I can think is, and this is so bad. Oh my God.
You're doing it, aren't you? You're about to go there.
This just in. The sentence has come down for the man who killed his 11-year-old daughter. And the actual sentence, you may not believe, but is actually true. They have decided to cut off his penis.
Or verdict number 2 is to have sex with an electrical fence. Either or will be sufficient. Oh, man. So, yeah, talk about some really heavy stories. You're not expecting this one, but while I think of it really quick.
Okay.
Cind'y is pulling no punches. She reacted to a bunch of the people that were commenting, and there's more than just a bunch, but this is how she feels it is. It's just
okay, wait a minute. Before you continue, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to say this. To the fans that are listening that are not from Canada and has no idea what she just said, what she's talking about is Celine Dion. She says it all wonky, but what she's actually saying is Celine Dion.
It is Celine Dion. That's her name in French. That's how you say her name.
But she doesn't do French. She is Celine Dion. Every award she's won, every album she's put out, every performance she's made, they say, ladies and gentlemen, Celine Dion.
Wrong. Not if you listen to a French award show or a French TV show or anything French. Yes, when they announce her, it's Celine Dion.
We are not French. And but they say it that way because of their... No, we are not French. We are American. We
Welcome
speak English. English. Say it in English. One time for me, please. Dear God, please. One time.
Just I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just
her
wrong.
name is Celine Dion. Her name is Celine Dion.
Okay, you did it.
That's how it's spelled, and that is how it's spoke, Celine Dion, because we don't speak French. We are not French. We speak English.
You're about to get a trampede full of Francophone people all over you, and you don't know.
I can't help it. That's all she's ever been called since I've known her as an artist.
To all of you who can't see me right now, I'm really sorry because you're missing out on a great portion right here. Okay, I'm sorry. But for all of you, I will describe it as best as I can. Right now, she is invoking the Walking Dead effect, okay, where every Francophone from Ontario, Canada, or Canada period is coming at her going, she's French. It's,
But it doesn't matter. What
You're
you have
going to talk about a bunch of French people.
I'm not trying to be offensive to the Canadians. I have nothing against Canadians. As a matter of fact, I love Canadians. But if you're going to say the woman and Americans are listening, you have to say it so that they understand who you're talking about. And for them to understand, if you say Silesia, they have no clue what that means. They think you just said a foreign word.
She can't even say it, folks. Never mind me trying to say it English. You tried to say it French, dang nabbit. Come on.
That's how it sounds.
No.
That's how it sounds when you say it.
Céline Dion.
But say it in American.
I can't do that. It's not in me.
Oh my God. Okay, guys. He is talking about Cind'y.
I'm speaking of the Canadian songbird, Céline Dion, the Power of Love songstress. There we go.
The lady that won all those awards for My Heart Will Go On from the Titanic movie. You know, when they opened all those envelopes and said, ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Céline Dion.
Not at the Junos. Oh my God. I better remember where we were at. Oh my gosh.
We were talking about Celine Dion's response to all the crap that's going on around her.
All right. For those of you two to get on TC time, there's a reason why we're kind of invoking this back and forth kind of thing for viewers and listeners, and why we're saying this. It's because we're going to be available on 2 different types of podcasts after this, so stay tuned for information. But anyway, see, now I can't continue because if I go to say it, she's going to stop me again and saying it's the other way.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Cind'y has a very interesting story, and she is going to tell us all about Celine Dion and her reaction to the crap people are giving her for the, correct me if I'm wrong, for the weight that she has lost.
Ooh. If you haven't seen pictures of her, people, actually, to be honest, I am worried. I actually am. Now all of a sudden you just snap me back into seriousness here. It was like, she's calling it just a bunch, but she basically, in a her kind of way, basically told us to shut the hell up. And she's not like that. Yeah. That she's never felt more beautiful. And oh, it's not good, peeps. There's been some pictures. She's so like I'm having a brain fart, but the girl that you
Eugenia Cooney, that's what I was just going to say. The last picture I saw of Celine, honest to God, that's what flashed through my mind was Eugenia Cooney.
It's starting to go there. And that was so frightening to me because she's our treasure. She's one of our treasures. Of course, we have Shania Twain as well. I'm right in her hometown. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I can't even say her name now because of you. But, damn you. But it's starting to go there. She's one of our treasures. Like, people are really starting to be afraid for her.
Cind'y,
there was one where you saw her going up stairs, a set of stairs, and oh my God. And this was video-wise. Awful. Cind'y, the dress was smaller than Shania's, and I've seen one of Shania's dresses when they had her center here. I'm telling you right now, like, I mean, I'm not a big person, but I'm not tiny either. One of my arms wouldn't even have fit in her pant legs. She's that tiny. She's even tinier than what you used to see on TV. And now Celine, I swear to God, is smaller than that. It's terrible. So, and we were talking about that thing where, like, you can actually believe that somebody can die of a broken heart, like we spoke about with Christoph.
See, I was going to ask, after she lost her husband the way she did, I was going to ask you, do you think that maybe she's slowly grieving herself to death?
I do. And I kind of thought that might happen. Because don't forget, it wasn't just her husband. She also lost her brother that very 2 days apart. There was only 2 days between them.
Oh, my God.
And her brother died of cancer as well.
Oh, my God. See, I had no clue about the brother. I knew about the husband, but not the brother.
Exactly 2 days apart. So she went from one funeral directly to the other.
Oh, shit. That's not good.
So I totally think so. I think so, which is why I've been kind of watching like crazy because, I mean, it might, some people take it as stupid, but like, it's like when Glenn Fry died, I bawled 4 hours. No joke. I sat here and cried like a child for hours. And if you think that was bad,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I'm going to tell you what, when Keith Whitley died, and at this point in my life, I can tell you, I cried, and he is the only artist that I've ever cried when they passed away. That's how much his music touched me.
Yeah. And I will for her. I will for her because, and I shouldn't say I will for her because I pray to God that that's not what's happening. I really need to back up the truck right there. Celine, I don't believe you need to be, it just don't look good, you know, like I don't want that to be an omen. Good God. But, I mean, I'm hoping that maybe, you know, maybe we're wrong. Maybe she's just on a kick right now, and maybe that's as tiny as she'll get, hopefully. Yeah. But if we start to see her lose any more than she's already lost, which where the hell would she get it from? Would be my question. But
yeah,
I pray, because it's just such a sad, sad, sad situation. I mean, looking at her, I couldn't even believe it was her. The one picture I saw, I wouldn't have even recognized her.
Yeah.
It was that
it's horrible. Horrible. But you know what just went through my head? If something does happen, who is going to sing My Heart Will Go On? Because you know it'll be part of the tribute.
I think they would definitely get Shania in there somewhere.
Yeah, but I can't sing. I can't see her singing. I can't see her doing My Heart Will Go On. That's way that's power vocal. That's like Whitney Houston. What?
I have faith in Shania. I think she could do it. Shania was always in her own way, and it's Lionel that made her realize she could even do My Endless Love. And she didn't think she could do it.
Yeah, but I think part of it.
You got to remember, she's not going to do it in exactly Celine's key. An artist knows how to make it their own. They bring down the key 1 or 2, then they turn around and they might change a certain lick here or there to make it suit them more. Yeah. Which is how you do a tribute. You're not trying to copy. You're just trying to pay tribute. And I actually
in order to do a proper tribute and include that song, you would want that song as close to the original as possible as a way to honor and respect what she did with it. And we know they can't get Whitney because, oh, well.
I don't think it's that much of a stretch. I really don't. Bring it down just a half step, even. Because
I do, but I mean, that's just my opinion. That's like I said, that's just my opinion, but I don't see her doing it power vocal the way Celine did, the way I think it should be done as a tribute to her. But I would love it if she just surprised the hell out of me and just nailed it.
I think she can, because one thing that I don't know if I ever told you this, but there was a girl that worked at a sub shop here in town.
Yeah.
That was her favorite song for me to sing. I know the range in the song, and I know Shania, and she could do it. If she worked on it, she could do it. It was her favorite song for me to do, and she passed away a few years after I quit running karaoke. And that was her favorite one. As soon as she'd walk in, I'd know, oh, get this, get
Cind'y,
it all queued up.
You killed her.
No.
You stopped doing karaoke and it broke her heart and she grieved herself to death for you. You killed her. It's all your fault.
And I didn't know, actually. I didn't even know she was sick. I didn't find out until a few years later. And one of our mutual friends who also worked with her, I seen her uptown, and then she let me know what had happened. I just stopped in my tracks, and I started to cry right there. People were walking by me wondering, what the hell's wrong with that one? I was so stunned because I couldn't be at the funeral. I didn't know. No,
you were stopping and looking. I can tell you why people were stopping. Because they'd never seen a sad Canadian before.
Oh my God. Wow.
Come on, Canadians are some of the sweetest, friendliest, happiest people you'll ever meet. You have to admit that. You are one of them.
I think that is so funny that you say that, because I've had a lot of different bands that have come to town, because I was a barfly in my time, because I was a musician.
Woo, okay.
I spent my years in the bars, and
look at you being all wild.
He finally explained it to me later. But remember when I showed you Rebecca and Kickin' Horse? And there was two brothers in the band. Well, one of them was Bob. And this is just me. I just went up to introduce myself, and I said hi to his brother. And then I got to him and I said hi. He goes, look, I'm married. I said, I don't give a shit. I wasn't after you like that. He came at me later and he's there. I had to talk to you, he said, because, everybody's so friendly, and you had just such a great smart ass comment. He said, I really had to talk to you. And I was like, cool. I've been friends for years. He'd come to my house. We'd sit and sing, write songs together, all kinds of stuff. It was just, and that's what you say. You say we used to, we love coming. And they said it gets even worse further up north, where it just seems like everybody's happier the further up north you go. But either way, all Canadians are very happy.
There's so much less air. They're not getting enough oxygen to their brain. They don't know to be happy or sad. They're delirious from lack of oxygen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now made up for the sad portion of the show. For those of you who are just listening to this, please do us a favor. Whether you're listening to us, watching us, please make sure you get word of mouth out. Put us on your Facebook. Do what you got to do. Get us out there, because I really think that our commodity, we've got something. And I would really love for people to come and be part of the family and listen to us, and possibly we could maybe do things and have certain people be on as guests with us, and just, we'd like to blow this thing up, because we do it for you guys, because we love you guys and have so much fun knowing the reaction you might get seeing this. So, or hearing it. So especially for my Loves Buzz fans, you guys, I want to do this a little more often. So comment below. Let me know what you think. For Trish's personal fans, she has a podcast. So make sure that you go over to her podcast as well. Hit her up. Ring her bell. Share. Subscribe.
I promise you are going to get at least one story about somebody losing their penis.
I was going to say they were going to get a lot of penis action. When I go to put this up tonight, don't I have to put this under adult now?
No.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure underage people know what a penis is.
Yeah, but can't I get in trouble? Can't we get in trouble for that? No. Podcast.
It's not like we're showing pictures. Oh my God. This is not the documentary Lorena on Amazon.
Well, heck, I don't know. Jeez. I mean, some YouTubers that are so afraid now, they're being extra careful. Some of them won't even say the equal version to crap, if you know what I mean. They won't even say that. They're too afraid to get shut down.
Well, should I have said their pee-pee?
Oh, good God. Alrighty, you guys. Well, other than that, I think it's time we better shut this one down because we are just about out of time. So another great one. And as that'll do it, I want to thank my very best friend, Ice Pets Queen Trish, for being here and doing this one with me. And to all of you guys for tuning in. Keep buzzing.